5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello and welcome back to Bella Talks TV. I am Amanda Bella and I am so pleased to be back behind the mic here for my first episode of 2024. And that's exactly what we're doing today. If you joined me for season 1, you already know that my podcast is a countdown of the weekly moments of reality TV that we just can't stop talking about, hearing about, scrolling about. And we're here to discuss a lot today. So we have a lot of things on the docket, things that have already happened so far this year. I'm recording this on Tuesday, February 6th. And not only do we have so much to talk about just about what has happened so far in reality TV this year, I'm also going to be introducing that I'm going to be having guests on the podcast this year now. And this new season is also bringing me even just as much as having the video capability to be recording with you all. And as much as I loved being in New York, and that's where I started this podcast in my office at home there, and I have a really nice setup there. I use a bigger normal desk podcasting mic there. And I'm in Florida for this season. I'm not sure if you're following me on Instagram, if you found me there. You might have been chronicling a little bit. If you were here for the last season of my podcast, you definitely learned a lot about more, who I am. Go back and listen because you'll learn about who I am, where I live, things that are going on in my life outside of the podcast. And that also includes getting married, and I'm seasonally living in South Florida and not being in New York for the winter. So lots of things going on. I'm also here. It's so nice to be on camera to be able to show you. I'm here with my dog, Candy. She's going to be making appearances, I'm sure, on the pod. And here I am in bed. Like, this is just casual, guys. This is just a casual chat now between friends. And I want to make sure that this podcast just always feels inviting and positive and fun. And let's just talk to some TV. Thanks for being here. Okay, so another segment that I like to do on my show every week is the OMG and the LOL of the week. So a little cheesy, a little bit of play off of my Rose and Thorn or my Peak and Valley or whatever analogy people like to use for this. But my OMG of so far of 20 has been this esophagus fight that's been going on, and really just all of the drama of Anna Marie being called out about may or may not, allegedly saying that she was a doctor when she's a nurse and misappropriating her title. And there's just a lot of stuff going on there. Like, my jaw's on the floor because the audacity. And I just have had a personal connection to this story. I actually have an esophageal autoimmune disease where my throat does close up. And I have had people accuse me of having certain problems like an eating disorder or drink. I've even had people think like I drink too much or I drink too much coffee or like whatever the problem is. People trying to be like, oh, just like cut back on that, like chew your food more, or just don't drink coffee. Like all these like suggestions where it's like, hey, first of all, I have a doctor. Like, I don't need you to try to tell me medical advice. And second of all, like, I've been hospitalized for days. Like, I've been able to not even swallow my own spit for 5 or 6 days. So it's very scary. It's very real. And I'm totally just flabbergasted by the fact that she was coming in so hot with this when she was so wrong. Like, it is one thing to be like, do the typical housewife thing where you like raise an eyebrow and like, maybe ask shady questions back. Like, oh, like try to like say what you're saying without saying it. But no, she was just like a bull in a china shop, and I'm just like not feeling her. I also feel like her husband has alleged lawsuits against him too. Like, they seem like not good people. So I'm over them, and OMG, I'm over it. My LOL so far of the year has been watching Southern Hospitality, specifically the journey of Grace Lilly getting back to her single freedom. I am obsessed with her, and just this whole cast this season. The Southern Hospitality cast really came back the second season, just not messing around. They are exposing each other for everything. And they're leaving just no breadcrumbs. Like, they're eating it. And I'm obsessed with each and every one of them. It's giving me old VPR vibes. Again, with the crossovers, not only with old Vanderpump versus new Vanderpump, also old Vanderpump versus Southern Hospitality. Like it, sometimes if you close your eyes, I can't tell which show I'm watching. It's so good. It's so good. The drama between Maddie and Trevor, it's never ending. Maddie is a mess, and now Emmy's coming for her job, and Will cheated on her. He definitely, did he? What do you guys think? Let me know if you think Will cheated on Emmy in the bathroom that night. Because was he really just crying with that girl and consoling her, or was that a really, really good alibi? The fact that they were able to expose that Maddie's been lying about this Joe Bradley rumor, and Joe Bradley's hooking up with Lucia in Miami, and there's just a lot of different things going on. But G Lily vibes. Grace Lily is my queen. She is really showing every woman just what it's like to choose themselves. Again, another perfect example of like Sam from Winter House, just seeing a guy that's not up to the standard, not up to code, and canceling. We're done. We're leaving that in 2023. 2024, we are Bravo babes. We are the stars. Not these men, not these leeches, not these little worms with mustaches, okay? Let's not all forget that. So please, if you haven't gone to my Instagram in a while, I have a really funny reel of a part from Grace Lily leaving her dumb boyfriend Liam, getting in her car, taking her veggie hot dogs and her big Persian cat, whatever kind of Siamese cat I believe, and getting in her car and leaving. So it's just a great scene. It, like, again, reminds me of old Vanderpump Rules, and this entire cast is just bringing it. I'm loving it. 5 stars. And a lot of laughable and OMG moments so far this year. I cannot wait to see what the rest of the year is going to bring us. Okay, so we have a lot to cover, and I want to jump right into my first top 5 countdown of the year. So again, remember, every week you're going to come here. I'm going to gather up the top 5 most talked about moments I've been able to find out in television, mostly reality TV. Like, of course, there's going to be some crossover and some things that slip into both. But I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to chat about it. We're going to see really what happened. There's always the housewives' truth, the audience's truth, and then what really happened. So we're here to break it all down. And again, I just feel like this podcast I do really for my mental health. Bravo, again, has always been just an escape and a place that I've gone to since day one that the Real Houses of Orange County premiered. Vicky Gunvalson is like a second mother to me. So if that says anything about me and the type of fan that I am, I know everything about these people and have a lot of opinions. So thank you for coming on this journey with me, coming back to join me, especially after taking a little break over the holidays. I haven't recorded now in like 6 or 7 weeks. And of that, there's going to be just, sometimes I'm going to maybe release like 4 episodes in a row and then maybe skip a week or 2. And as my wedding approaches in April, I know that there's going to be some hits and misses every week. So I'm going to do my best to be here wrangling up this for you every week. But again, I'm here in bed. This is just an Amanda Bella production. So there's nobody paying me to be here. I don't have any sponsors or ads. And I'm just here because I love to talk about TV. So let's get into my countdown. The number 5 moment that has already happened so far in 2024 that I couldn't wait to talk to you guys about is the golden wedding. So I really hope that everyone was able to turn into the wedding of Gary and Teresa. They have had a lot of uphill battle, haters from day one. And even going into the wedding, everybody was saying that Gary was just in it for the money. He only picked Teresa when he found out that she had this great estate and all of this money. So the fact that, and who knows, like, this is a shady question. Again, this is not really the point of the pod, but did she get, no, she's self-made. I'm not even going to say that, because I truly believe that Teresa has all of her own money, and however she has the money, it doesn't matter. People were like, you got to do the prenup. And she thought that Gary was going to be upset that he had to do the prenup. But honestly, even as somebody myself that's getting married in actually 2 months to the day, it's like a prenup is a prenup. You got to do what you got to do. Don't take it personally. And everyone needs to protect themselves. And I think that if she did ask for one, then that's just fine. It doesn't mean that she doesn't trust him. And as for all of these women who have been on dates with him that came forward with all these crazy stories about, well, I went out with him and he said I was this or whatever. Like, okay, yes, I believe women, but this guy seems soft. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. I think people are just looking for their moment. And I'm sure people are like, not even people, but magazines and outlets call them to get these quotes. So it's very interesting how these things play out. But I wish them nothing but the best. Teresa looked so happy. I think there was one point during the wedding where I think her dress was even falling apart when they were saying their vows. And it's like she didn't even care. They were so in the moment and so in love, and just everybody in the room was crying. And I thought that was a beautiful wedding. Maybe again, I'm just in my bride era, so I was feeling the feels. But another crazy thing that happened at that was when Brayden proposed to Christina Mandrell on the red carpet. Sorry, that's my dog. Yep, she's always going to be here. This is another reason why I had to move my equipment, because if I sit at a desk and I try to do this, she has to be literally on top of the desk, like sitting next to the laptop and be right next to me. So at least now when I'm here recording, she can be with me and it's not an impediment on me being able to still be here with you guys. So she's just part of this show now. And if you're not just watching me on my YouTube or wherever you're watching this, like, you're really missing out on seeing how cute my dog is, because she's truly the cutest dog that ever lived. I'm a little biased. So Brayden and Christina, they get engaged on the red carpet, or the gold carpet, which I actually loved, the gold carpet for that. Oh my God. Now I'm remembering, because it has been like a month since it's happened now. I'm remembering how they had Kathy. Is it Kathy? The one that looks kind of like Caitlyn Jenner. Like, she's an icon, and she was hosting the red carpet. She's amazing. And then Susan is the Kris Jenner lookalike, which is hilarious that there was both of those lookalikes on the same season of The Golden Bachelor. But it's going to be interesting to see if they do The Golden Bachelorette, how this is going to work out. I'm excited. I loved this season. I was sad to see it end. Brayden and Christina, I can kind of see being together. They both really seem like they're trying to just be like the next Bachelor couple, viral couple. Got to get those brand endorsements and get invited to all of the shows. I mean, hey, they have to have some couples come down to Paradise and give advice. So someone's got to do the job. They look like they want to do it. Let them have it. That was a really fun thing. If you haven't already seen it, I'm sure the Golden Wedding Special is on ABC. So go and check that out. The number 4 moment that's already happened so far this year, which was one of my favorite moments, I think, of all of Bravo history, her story, because this is another moment where we just see a woman choosing herself and rising and becoming a star. And I'm talking about Sam from Summer House and her breakup with Corey. So this is a hard one, because I think it's very natural for people to want to see some flaws in both of them, because Corey was trash, and I say that with love and light, but he just is. You can just tell he's like the epitome and the total definition of a F-boy. And even though Sam is amazing, and of course she was like the one to get him to like semi-settle down, so in the end it was like the chemistry was real, it was real, they had a real connection. But I think that the ultimate problem was that, like, he was just getting famous. Like, they're just getting famous, meeting each other, getting, on the rise together. So they're either going to like trauma bond together and stay together forever and like just be a TV couple. Or I think the problem was that Corey, he wanted to be on TV, but he didn't necessarily want to be part of a TV couple. So when I listened to her podcast, which again, as a podcaster, I think it's very important that I listen to a lot of the other podcasts. And I think hopefully when you come here, you're going to get a little bit of a different perspective from, not just another thing regurgitating the same information on a lot of the podcasts that, sometimes I'm like, did I hear this already once or twice? Because people are just saying the same stuff. But no disrespect, because who would I be? without all the podcasts before me. The Sam and Corey breakup, it was inevitable. And I'm just happy that she got to do it on her terms. She got to basically break up with him. I mean, it wasn't really her choice. She did explain it on Not Skinny But Not Fat, Amanda Hirsch's podcast, that which she decided to break it with her too, which I felt like that was really cool. Like, people are going on podcasts now to break news instead of calling Page Six or doing that route of traditional PR. So it is very interesting how that happens. But she was very vulnerable and just talking about how she had invited him for New Year's to spend New Year's together and be able to spend time with their families and do things together. And unfortunately, he basically just left her on red. And damn, like, she invites you to spend time over, a pretty prominent holiday for couples. Like, it's significant to spend the new year, ringing in the new year with your SO, because that's just going to hopefully mean that you guys are going to spend the whole year together and grow together, manifesting with your couple, if you will. But I just feel like that was the biggest sign ever for him to just leave her on red. Then when she texted him to be like, yo, did you just like not respond after a few days? He was like gaslighting her and being like, oh, the phone works two ways, and just awful. So bye, Corey. And I really hope that they find a way to keep Sam in the loop. I know that they already filmed Summer House last season. I cannot wait for the premiere of Summer House. I need it back. Winter House is not filming. I don't know if it has anything to do with this. Like, Corey and Sam are kind of like the next couple, the next Amanda and Kyle, God, kind of. Paige and Craig, are also getting a little bit older, growing out of it. They need like new young couples. I mean, that's why I love Southern Hospitality. If you're not watching that and you're sleeping on that, like, what are you doing? I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to talk about that much today. So if you, again, please go watch Southern Hospitality. They're having a really strong second season. But I feel like that's a really, influential moment to kick the year off and to show hopefully all these other Bravo baddies that they don't need these losers. I'm looking at you, Olivia and Taylor. Okay, so my number three moment of the year so far is Traitors Fever, basically. Just the new season of Traitors is here. Everybody is talking about it. People are on the edge of their seats because it's a lot different than last season. So if you watched season one, it was a little bit different because there were basically like real people, like just randos mixed in with the celebrities, and it was a lot harder to pick who a traitor and a faithful was because you didn't know these celebrity personality archetypes as well. So Tamara as being a certain way, Phaedra as being a certain way, Dan from Big Brother and Parvati from Survivor. These people all have these reputations that precede them, where these normal people you couldn't do that with. So they don't have that this season, which is interesting. So everybody's kind of coming in knowing a little bit about each other, which has been a different edge on the show. Another thing that they're doing is just mixing up the way, like they started with just having two traitors and bringing people in and being able to recruit right away. Then Parvati was able, spoilers by the way, if you haven't seen Traitors yet, like just fast forward and go watch. But Parvati being able to do the poison chalice, and there's just other elements now. They just now recruited Peter, and they're attempting to. We're not going to find out until this Friday or Thursday at 9 p.m. on Peacock if he is going to accept the decision to come onto the Traitors now and with Parvati and Phaedra and hopefully lead their team to victory. Nobody will suspect that Pilot Pete will be the one that will maybe win this whole thing. But that's what I love about this show. That's what everyone loves about this show. It brings out a different side of people, a very competitive and very interesting natured side where people are a little like pernicious and a little cutting. So loving Traitors Fever. Of course, I'm a Phaedra fan. We're going to talk a little bit more about Housewives in general, I think, towards the end of the episode, and even with my guest Meredith that's going to be on this week's episode from the amazing Instagram account. If you don't follow her, this is my first time I'll mention it. It will also be in the show notes, but it is at The Only Thing Fake. That is of, Aviva Drescher fame. The only thing fake about me is this with the leg. We all know that part. So we'll be talking more about that too. But just in case I don't mention that, make sure you're checking her out. And there's just so many other twists and turns on this season that I'm really loving. They brought Kate back, and I'm a decently big Kate fan. I could see if they brought her back, like she won last season or something, like that would be a huge threat. Or if she was the first one voted off and she didn't get a chance to perform, but she kind of fell in the middle, and she was actually really, really off, if you remember, about a lot of the picks that she had last season. So I don't know why they brought her back. Maybe just fan favorite. Surprisingly, Larsa, I didn't hate her as much on here. She's really been driving me crazy on Real Houses of Miami. Another thing that I'm not sure I'll get too much time to talk about this episode. They are just having a really strong season. So as far as like viral moments that have happened so far in 2024 on the show, there just hasn't been a lot. But really strong season. Go watch if you're not already. And that was the number 3 most talked about moment is the premiere of Traitors and Phaedra slaying all of the faithfuls. The number 2 most talked about moment so far of 2024 is the return of Vanderpump Rules. We've all been waiting. We've all been on the edge of our seats waiting for this. And I'm so happy it's back. It feels like it never left in a little bit of a way, but in a good way to me, because I'll never get sick of it. I've been watching from season 1 again in the off season and just doing a full rewatch. And it's funny, some of the recurring themes that go on. Specifically right now in the end of season 3, I'm preparing to watch Sheena's wedding. And there's just so much going on with the way that Tom and Ariana ended and the way that they started. The same with James and Kristen. And then with Raquel, there's just this really weird way that this cast has of almost like repeating each other's histories. So it's just funny, especially watching so much Jax on my screen again. Now remember, we are getting the Valley premiering, and I'm actually pretty excited about this. I don't sense a flop. I just feel like Bravo, not that they're not able to do a flop once in a while still, but I feel like this could be good because as somebody who's kind of like an in-between age too, like I'm around the same age as all of these people. I'm 36, so. Well, Jax is old man Jax, so he's a little bit different. But I'm kind of in between the Southern Hospitality and the Vanderpump Rules cast, too. It's like we need a little bit more. I'm a little bit more of that Southern charm age, a little bit more of that Summer House age. So these in-between franchises are really like a sweet spot for me. So if we could find a way to make it more like that for the Valley, I'm hoping that it's just like, watching us like trying to get older. I mean, I've seen so many funny things about how like they're like, yeah, Jax, like you've been old. Like this isn't you trying to adult. Like you're trying to adult in your 20s. But that's okay. I love Jax anyway. He's a fellow Michigan native, and so is Doute, who's also going to be on our screen. You guys, we're getting Kristen Doute back, which again, going back and watching her, she was almost unbearable, relentless with stuff. Like I can't believe I forgot because towards the end she became so vulnerable and really got iced out so much and was, but she really, the first like 3 to 4 seasons, savage. So I'm so happy to have VPR back. Actually, I'm recording this Tuesday, so I'll be watching the new episode tonight, the 2nd episode. I cannot wait. I'm going to see Ariana on Friday in Roxy, or in Chicago. So as Roxy, I love Chicago. Chicago is actually one of the first musicals I ever saw, and I've never seen it on Broadway. So I'm going to be back in New York this weekend for a couple different things that I have going on, and one of them is seeing Ariana finally as Roxy, and I'm very, very excited to do that. So I can't wait to come back and talk about that on the pod next week too. And so that leads us already to my number 1 moment of 2024 so far. And that is going to be the exposure of reality VonTease. So I know this seems like this happened a year ago, you guys, but the premiere of the season finale of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was on January 2nd. So that was really this year. Believe it or not, that's going to be something that in December, we're going to be like, oh my God, remember when that happened? And then it's going to feel like it was 5 years ago. But no, Monica has now been exposed as reality VonTease. And as somebody who has a finsta, basically, like, I had a real Instagram that I started in 2000 whatever, and the year that it started, not to brag, I was probably like in the beta testing for Instagram. Like that's how long I've had it, day one. Which is why I'm not doing great with my TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to do my best. But basically, reality VonTease being exposed, like as having my own Instagram, it gives me some pause for cause or some cause for pause, because I really feel like you can't be starting stuff like this. You can't be doing this. You just can't. There's no, it's a zero tolerance. It's zero tolerance. And now, I know in the beginning, a lot of people were like, iconic, whatever, stan, like legendary. Yes, I do agree. Like nothing's happened like this before. We're always going to remember this. But what she really did, when you break it down, especially what she was doing with Jen, going by her house, like legitimately stalking. Like, you guys know, she didn't just sit out there once or twice. She's lying. If you really do your due diligence, you will see that there are videos. She would sometimes post videos of her being like, this is the 13th time I'm driving by today. Like, she would openly admit that she was stalking. So that's just very scary, as somebody who has lived in big cities and has been a single girl and just always had a fear of something like that. I just don't ever, I just think everybody should be free to live their life, and nobody should be following them, bullying them, keeping tabs on their every move, and then pulling receipts on them later. Like, that's just not, that's abuse to me. So fuck Monica. Sorry. I don't know if that's going to make it so that I can't put this on YouTube, but I just don't like her, and I'm happy that she was exposed. Okay, everyone. So that brings us to the end of the first episode of 2024 of Bella Talks TV. Again, I'm so happy to be back. I know that I've had a lot of things I had to overcome, a really bad case of COVID, the holidays, I moved, I'm planning my wedding, and I'm under 8 weeks away. So please, like, as always, please give me some grace and just know that I'm here because I love to do this and I love to talk about TV, and that's why I'm here. So if you can please go and leave me a review, rate, just any type of comment, a share. Please help me just get that extra boost I need to continue to know that I'm in the right place and that I'm being heard and seen, because that is why I do this. I am just trying to, hopefully I'll say something that someone else will hear and be like, oh, that's what I was thinking. Or I'll have an opinion that people think maybe they're the only ones. Like, even just somebody just messaged me this morning on my Instagram and was like, oh my gosh, you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. Like, how I feel like nobody gets this. And that's why I'm doing this, just to connect with you guys, to connect with my other Bravoholics and reality TV buffs, and to just have a space where we can hang out every Friday, once a week, talk some shit, have some fun and some laughs, and just keep this really casual and cool and just easy. So please, again, if you haven't already rated and reviewed, shared, and be sure to join me next week also. And we'll be talking about all of the things: Vanderpump Rules, Housewives, Bachelor, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind is premiering. There's just so many other reality TV shows too. A segment that I was doing last year that I'm going to bring back is the segment of TV no one's talking about, so that I can get back into showing you guys some of these shows that are out there that maybe are not so over talked and over recapped on every podcast, and give you some new stories to follow and new cast members to see. So yeah, again, this is why we're here, just talk TV. So thank you so much for being here again. And I am Amanda Bella signing off. Ciao, Bellas. Have a great weekend.